poppin', everybody? Welcome to Culture Popped, Season 2, Episode 17. I am joined with Drew. Aaron is on his way, and I think we have a pretty fun show planned for tonight. We got a lot of Superman to talk about. We got a lot of Disney to talk about. Not in a good way. It's bad. Have we really talked about Disney in a good way recently? Not in a while. But
no.
Some scandalous stuff over the past week. But yeah, Drew, before we get started, how are you doing, brother?
I am doing well. I am recovering after a cold from last week, and as you're well aware, as soon as I started feeling better, I started right back to writing. Writing better.
Fair. I would say you're busy writing the entire time. But yes, you did. You kicked it into major gear. Then once you started feeling better, I was like, oh, okay, there we go. All right.
Yeah.
So, yeah, no, I happy to say there's just more projects you're doing. So, good stuff there.
I can't wait. I can't wait to show you.
Oh
guys.
yeah. Yes. I'm stuttering because I'm trying to figure out what to say without saying stuff that I can't say. There is something involved with Holy Nightmare that looks like it's going to be epic.
Yes.
I'll put it out there. More so than what you guys already know from Holy. Like, we've got the first issue they're working on. It's coming out. You got it. Yada, yada, yada. There's something else with Holy Nightmare that's coming out. That's all I'm going to say. So, other than the cold and the writing, how are things going?
Going well. It's a good day. It's a busy day. I am now spending the evening with you, Joshy Poo, relaxing. I'm gonna be having some laughs at the expense of James Gunn and this Superman costume choices
for me.
Yep, and as well as Disney's dirty laundry.
Fair. Yeah, Disney Dirty Laundry, some Superman stuff. There's another DC project, Lanterns, that we'll discuss that you haven't heard really much about, anything about. So I'm curious to get your take. I'll be super excited to get Aaron's take. I don't know how much he knows. I'm really excited to get Aaron's take on the Disney stuff because that is going to be fantastic. And then we have some Universal theme park news that we'll go over just because I think it sounds freaking awesome and fun. But before we do that, let's do a quick hello to the chat and see who all is here. If I can get my mouse to work. We had Nosferatu in the house first. He said, "What's up?" I'm not repeating the rest, but what's up, Nos? How are you? We've got Cage and Corey coming in clutch with that 1 month membership. Love it. We've only been around for a month, but he's got that Hawk Tua spit on that stream. Yes, the Hawk Tua girl has taken over the internet, and honestly, I think she's kind of awesome. I 100% think she is joking. I think you're catching her sense of humor with the stuff she says. But she just seems
a little drunk. Yeah.
Oh yeah, but she seems chill. Like, she seems like she'd be fun to hang out with, and not obnoxiously fun. Like, genuinely fun.
The Southern accent. Yeah, she's a Southern girl. I guarantee you, she's fun to hang out with. Absolutely.
Oh, heck yeah. But yeah, so Corey dropping this. Let's I gotta get used to it. I gotta start playing clips now when we get some good stuff. So what do we have here? Let's go with Corey. This one's for you.
I'll show you the tool that's most important to our survival, but fair warning, it's my penis.
So, Corey, thank you for the 1 month of membership. I will add, we do have some stuff coming up very soon. We'll have announcements towards the end of that will require memberships to be able to view and take part in. So make sure you check that out. Actually, since we're discussing it, we'll go ahead and bump over one. These are our membership tiers. So if you're interested, we do have the Tina Pop 99-cent tier membership. McDizzy Pop $2.99 and Rizzy Pop $9.99. We're gonna have only Josh coming back this Saturday, and I'll repeat this again at the end. But we've got only Josh coming back this Saturday. I've got Max coming on. I've got Roman from Roman of the Empire coming on, and I've got a close friend of mine that I grew up with, Sarah, who is a psychologist. She's one of the two. I got to look it up. But we're going to be discussing men's mental health awareness because despite all the gayness of June, June is also men's mental health awareness. It's a very important thing for me. I have friends that have either taken their life or have considered taking their life. So we're just going to kind of have about an hour and a half long session Saturday to discuss that. But we're also going to focus in on the struggle that people coming out of the military have while returning to civilian life. So yeah, I think it'll be go ahead.
I was going to say back in April, I told you, Josh, my good coworker, out of the Army, with me, and he shot himself, and I don't want to go into the details about it, but that it is no joke. And just if you know someone, even if you slightly think something is off, talk to them. Just talk to them. All right, no talk. Just listen. Just listen to them. Let them talk and just listen. Yeah,
definitely be there. But that's some of the stuff we'll get into, and then Sarah specifically, her husband was in the Army and is now a police officer, so she kind of has a pretty good scope of what that entails and what these guys endure. But I think it's going to be a good stream, and I think I've got a good team of people here to just have an honest conversation because that's what Only Josh is about. But if you're on the 99-cent Tina Pop membership tier, you'll get access to that. So go become a member. Go do your thing. And then the Saturday after that, we've got McDizzy or Sipping with McDizzy episode 2. And that episode's gonna be That Shit Was Gay, and we're gonna cover a bunch of random gay stuff that happened in June. And McDizzy's gonna do his thing. I'll just say that. So good stuff there. Please, if you will, go join one of the membership tiers. We have more announcements, more stuff coming later with more details. But we also have Eric O'Sullivan in the house. You called down the thunder. The thunder from down under.
Ooh.
Oh, whoa. But he said, how's it going, McDizzy? No McDizzy tonight. We've got good Josh tonight. McDizzy's going to be coming in 2 weeks. Drew, this is a question for you. When does the Fever Dream issue in Holy Nightmare drop?
Fever Dream? There's no Fever Dream about this whole book. There is no Fever Dream.
None.
It's all real. It's all a real and Holy Nightmare.
Do we have an idea of when we might be getting that wrapped up in people's hands? Is there a target date?
Yes. So Aurelio, like I said, he's wrapping. He's finished the pencils today on a page. He's going to the inks now, and I believe after this page, he should have 3 pages left. Then it's off to inks and colors, and then lettering. I'm really, really hoping because we gave it a year. But I'm really thinking we should have this out by August or September, maybe. That's what I'm hoping, if not sooner.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, he's plugging away. We're getting pages. There's a lot of good stuff going on. And what is this little? What is that? What's that right there? What?
I believe that is a new page from Aurelio Mazzara on Unholy Nightmare. Hot off the press.
Hot off the press. It is an exclusive. Drew, you said this to me about 30 minutes before we went live, and you're like, hey, we got this. And I was like, great, let's go with it. I mean, I'm really excited for this and the work you've been doing. And it feels interesting because so many other things have come up since Unholy Nightmare, and it's gonna be the next year is gonna be wild for you. I think from July to July is gonna be a wild year for Drew, aka Dolan, aka I have multiple names.
Yeah, which is aka annoying. And it's all the projects I've done over the past year, they all most of them haven't come out yet. They're all gonna be coming out later this year and next year. So it's gonna be oh my God, I forgot I wrote that. Oh, I did write that one. Oh shit. And it's gonna be hilarious remembering all these projects I wrote over a year ago come out.
Right. Yeah, it's wild. but I'm excited, and I'm excited for you, and I'm excited for people to check these things out and go from there. Because so much in the pipeline that's in process, or even written on your end, just waiting for art to finish and then waiting for announcements. So many good things. We have got JD Petty in the house, so we'll be talking about the Superman costumes in a bit, but Mr. Terrific looks good. But A, the Superman movie should focus on Superman, not other characters out of the gate. And B, gun lines Tom King, gun likes, is that supposed to be likes Tom King, bodes ill for Mr. Terrific. Yeah, we're we'll go into detail about that later, but yes, similar thoughts, and that may not be the.
I swear to, we'll get into it later. Oh, we'll get into it later. I'll save my rant for later.
So we'll save the ranting for later.
Yeah.
We've got Zach's in the house. He goes, Josh, or it's Joshy. Oh, I'll take the what's up shoulders. Zach's, I believe, is celebrating 2 years tomorrow night. Is that correct? You'll have to let me know if it's tomorrow night, or I think it's tomorrow night. What's Good Wednesday. So make sure you guys plan to go check that out at 9:00 Central Time on Zach's channel. But I think it's going to be a little bit of a party, so you should come see what all's going on there. And let's see. Oh, Beer Monarch there. I was going to show a Drake and Josh clip. Nope, I don't have any. I never watched the show, and I don't have any clips from the show. So womp womp.
And and especially after watching but Quiet on the Set, like I don't even want to watch that show.
Oh yeah, that's completely fair. We also have Zach's rolling up with his 1 month membership. Josh, keep up the good work, my guy. Thank you, sir. I've got to say, and a lot of us talk about this, but those of us in this kind of smaller knit YouTube community, Zach's is like the best champion, the best guy to have in your corner, because he's there to support you. He does a lot of work to try to get people to come watch your shows. He tries to loop you in. He introduces you to other people and lets you network. And he'll give you the dad talk every now and then, and lay down some good facts when you need to hear them. So huge thanks to Zach's and everything that he does. And since he is our shoulders, we're gonna go with a little bit of this action. I love that when we were recording the X-Men episode of Marvelous Monday, we got in a whole debate on is Colossus hot or not. It just completely derailed our conversation to the point that it was bad enough that Nadia was like, we're gonna have to cut this out. And I was like, we absolutely are. But yeah, Fear Monarch again. It's a dead set race. Will Unholy Nightmare finish first, or will Aaron have his Kickstarter up? Oh, I mean, I think Aaron is pretty close to having his Kickstarter ready. He's like, we've shown you guys a few things from Neil before Doomface, but there's so much more that hasn't been released, hasn't been shown, that he's worked on and prepared, and both, I mean, look, let them dovetail. Like they're both going to be exciting. As for what's not exciting, this guy, Maxfield Von Priestley, coming in with the gay. Yeah, buddy, it's okay. We still love you. No worries. Actually, I take that back. I'm so excited to have you on stream Saturday to talk about serious stuff. So, no, I'm always happy to see you here, brother. And thanks for hopping in the chat. We also have the day later. I think this is the first time I've seen you, but if you called down the thunder, then that means I'm coming and hell's coming with me. Indeed.
Yeah,
no, welcome.
I love it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it is too. I was trying to think of what that was from, and I couldn't think about it. There we go. I haven't watched Tombstone in quite a while. I need to revisit that. It used to be something my brothers and I would watch.
Same. And actually, Kyle and I, we both got. As soon as we found out there's a director's cut edition of this, we bought that because there's a lot of deleted scenes in the director's cut, and yeah, it's still a great watch.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So Zach's did confirm tomorrow night for the 2-year anniversary for What's Good Wednesday, and I think we're all going to bring something to the table that we think is good that people should check out, among other things. Rumor has it Zach's will have his shoulders out, so we'll see. And then Zach's also put Drew at Backed in a Holy Nightmare. If you ever want to come on and promote your campaign, you're welcome to, dude. So
absolutely, thank you. Yeah. I would love to.
We've got Andrew Gonzalez hopping in a bit late, but I'm here. Welcome, brother. We're happy to see you here. No worries on being late. I'm usually late as well. So, welcome to the team. And of course, we have the lovely Miss Sassy Sasquatch, Josh E with kisses. Sassy likes to give those kisses out. I'm just going to say. And she's bringing her big hoops. So, Sassy also has a great show on Sundays. I call it the Sunday Service with Sassy, even though that's not the name of the show. That's just what I call it. But she's usually just keeping it real on there and has a lot of, we'll say, interesting clips. There's some interesting people in the world. And, during the month of June, it may have been a full month of being like me going like, I don't claim these people. I don't know who they are. You know what? I'm switching teams. How about that? So whoa. But Drew, we're gonna go ahead and jump in to the conversation, and then when Aaron gets in, we'll loop him in. Do we want to? Since Aaron's not here yet, do we want to start with Superman and then we'll jump to the Disney stuff?
Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah, because I'm sure Aaron's got a lot more insight into the Disney stuff behind the scenes than, especially Lucasfilm.
Oh, for sure. Oh, yeah. So we're gonna jump over to right here, and so I think it was yesterday that these started coming out. My days are all blurred. But set photos of the new Superman film, Superman Legacy, started coming out, and we got to see David Corenswet in costume on set, and it's not getting a lot of positive conversations around it. So I guess let's just start off, Drew. What are your initial thoughts just looking at this, and then we'll go from there. But I purposely put the two photos next to each other to kind of deep dive into some stuff.
Yeah. So the image on the right, that was the first one to come out. If you're not familiar with these images. And I was initially concerned because, oh my God, the color palette of the uniform looks so dark and bleak. It looks like the Superman 3 costume of Evil Superman. And it's something that I really don't want to see. And I want to see a bright and cheerful, colorful costume like Christopher Reeves. And fortunately, the new images, we get that. We get a much more colorful, bright, optimistic, hopeful Christopher Reeve type color palette for his uniform. However, that's where my compliments end. Now, I mean, it's confirmed really that it is pretty much a take on the new 52 uniform outside of the S. And if you're like me, I was not a fan of the new 52 Superman. He was younger. He was a douchebag. He was an asshole, and just ridden like an idiot. And I hated that. And the collar, it really gives him more of like an authoritarian, like evil regime, communist approach to Superman. And I don't like that. And I'm not a fan of how the cape looks. It looks like it's, I don't know, like locked into place, which is weird. And the Alex Ross Superman S is fine, but not just that, but the suit itself looks like an overly large wetsuit that he doesn't fit in. It looks completely impractical, and I understand. I know that, hey, he's going to be cleaning it up in post in post. It's like, okay, that's all great and fine, but when you see this, it's like you never saw shit like that with Christopher Reeve. Christopher Reeve, he was on point when he looked like Superman. Hell, so was Henry Cavill in his costume. It's like, I mean, look, I'll be honest with you, Josh. The CW costume Superman look better than this. The Brandon Routh Kingdom Come Superman costume looked fucking amazing next to this. This is a joke.
Yeah, I think the first thing I'm going to pick up on are the lines of the suit, because that I mean the lines with the how the arm kind of points coming out over the hand, the collar, it all screams New 52 Superman suit. And I also was not a fan of that Superman run, or I mean I wasn't the biggest fan of the suit. It was just unnecessary lines. But yeah,
Yes.
it doesn't look great. And I look, so I'm gonna be the one to say, like, I'm not gonna jump on this and just completely hate on it because we like as you said, we know there's gonna be work done in post. They're gonna clean it up, they're gonna tighten it up. And it looks like they're gonna potentially texturize it because even though it's hard to see in this image here, if you look at the first marketing image they put out, if you look at it in detail, there's a texture to the suit that's not on his actual suit. So it makes me think they're gonna like imbue that on the suit. And I'm wondering if they did the suit in this kind of neoprene looking material for practical reasons of letting him move. Because that's something that we tend to see with a lot of superhero films is they'll make a costume and they make a really badass and cool looking costume, but then the actor can't move very well in it, and it kind of hinders what they can do. That's the.
Sorry, I will. I do want to say that even if you go back as far as Dean Cain on Lois and Clark, you know, he was able to move around, and Christopher Reeve able to move around. But it's another point too is that guys like Brandon Routh, I remember he got fucking ripped, he got jacked for the Superman role. But that costume he put on, it shrunk everything down. And we do know this David Corenswet guy, he got fucking jacked. And this suit does him no favors at all. It makes him look small.
It does. And it's interesting too, because in general, not looking at muscle mass, he's a big guy. I think he's 6'4". So he's not a little guy by any means. But the photos of him working out and then when he's showing like his physique, he looks much larger and much more muscular than he does here in this picture. But again, it is a picture. It is a candid picture. We'll see what happens. But I'm hoping for the best. I'm just not loving. This isn't exciting me. And
no,
even if I look at like the Guardians of the Galaxy films, I think part of the problem, or even Suicide Squad, costumes weren't James Gunn's strong suit, and I felt like you could kind of get away with it over there because they were kind of hokey, slapstick, really comedy or comedic driven films. But this is not supposed to be that. So, yeah, I wish I had better things to say.
And that's just and hey, there's a lot of people out there who like it, who dig it, and everything. But hey, that's fine, that's great. But I mean, for us, who've grown up with God knows how many Supermen at this point in live action, as well as the New 52 costume, and it's just there's a lot of baggage with this, and it just doesn't look good compared to what we've seen in the past. But we'll see what happens.
If I will say one thing positive, I am glad we're getting the brighter colors because I do think it conveys. Yep, I do think it conveys the idea of hope, and I think Superman for a while in live action they were afraid to go that bright. So I'm happy to see that, and some of the stuff that James Gunn has referenced that he's pulling from comic book wise, I think is a positive as far as Superman goes. We're not going to talk about Supergirl. So I'm hoping, I'm hoping we get some of those same themes within that, within the film. But let's check out the comments real quick and see what you guys think about it. So Erica Sullivan put, I think the S is sus. I don't mind the S.
Neither do I. But the interesting thing is, as you know, Josh, is that S came into play later on in Superman's career in Kingdom Come when he was much older and everything, and had a more unique tone to it. But at this early stage in his career, it doesn't make sense for him to have it.
Yeah, and see, that's something that JD Petty was actually alluding to. He put the S as the Kingdom Come S, feels wrong on a younger Superman. I think it does, and I don't know if it feels wrong. I mean, I can't remember. Is there a narrative reason for why he had the S developed that way for Kingdom Come, or is it just that we're so used to seeing, the salt and pepper Superman with that S?
That, and I think it's just more like the black than anything. I think remember there's more. I remember Bruce pointing out the black on the S more than anything else. But I don't think anyone ever really asked about the difference in the S. But I take that as more of an embracement of his Kryptonian heritage than anything else.
Fair. JD Petty also added, and the caller just calls to mind Injustice Superman. Yeah, I think Injustice Superman, New 52 Superman, both something that we mentioned that doesn't really kind of bring positive thoughts to the table.
Exactly.
Eric O'Sullivan also put Dean Cain's was close, but Christopher Reeve was the best. What say you, Drew? What say you?
Christopher Reeve, always been Christopher Reeve. Yeah. No one understood the character better than him. When there was an interview Christopher Reeve gave, and he said, Superman is a friend. That's who he is. Yeah. And that's how he wanted the world to see him. Not a ruler, not a totalitarian, not looking like this with that collar like he's a socialist, but someone who's a friend, who's going to be there to help, and is going to have a smile on his face, someone you can trust. This guy, we'll see.
Yeah, well, yes. I like Christopher Reeve. I've got to say, Henry, for me, like just all the images of Henry as Superman, it looks like Superman. The characterization of Superman in the Slender films was terrible, in my opinion. But the physical look of Henry Cavill Superman, for me, like he looks like Superman. And we mentioned CW, but I think one of the best live action depictions outside of Reeve that we've had of Superman was Tyler Hoechlin on Superman and Lois. Like that.
I got to meet him last. Great dude. Great dude. I met him at Chicago Fan Expo last year. Yep, Tyler. And funnily enough, we're Kyle and I were at dinner, and at this nice restaurant, and you would not fucking believe all the celebrities who were there came to this restaurant. Danny Trejo was there, Zach Levi, Tyler was there, and I forget all these big stars were there. And we're just seeing all these guys walk right by us. We're like, that was Zach Levi. And as we're leaving, I said, I saw Tyler walk out. I'm like, dude, I want to thank you. I think you did a great job as Superman. I said, oh, thank you so much. What's your name? Drew. Thank you so much. I appreciate it, Drew. Very nice guy.
Tyler's a really good guy. So I actually have a little bit of a history with Tyler. So back when I first moved to LA and was working, I had a company, Paradox Entertainment, that had one of my scripts. And it was a film originally, but they had converted it to television, a series. And we had gotten to the point that we were actually looking to cast to film a pilot. And Tyler was actually one of the actors that was supposed to come on board. Clearly it never happened. But he was supposed to come on board to play a character named Chris. And he was the younger brother of the main character. But it was, it was interesting because I got to meet him, I think, 2 or 3 different times. And he had been acting. He had done some stuff when he was younger and then stopped because he was focusing on school and baseball, and then was just coming back into acting. And then shortly after that, I think is when he picked up the Teen Wolf series. So
yeah.
Fun fact there, folks. We also have Eric O'Sullivan. Ralph was all wrong. And maybe that's supposed to be H. In my honest opinion. The wetsuit texture, no. The stylized S, no. Hate the logo on the belt buckle, no. Are you talking about Ralph in the Superman film, or Ralph when he picked it back up for the Arrow series and he did the Kingdom Come Superman?
Oh, that Kingdom Come Superman costume was on point. I love that damn costume.
I agree. It was a nice reminder of how good we could have it with Superman. Again, that's more writing than anything, but yeah.
And that's you're letting the actor's body do the work. That was his fucking body at the same time. And it's like here you don't see the work David's put in which is a shame.
Yeah, I'm trying to look. It looks like there's some padding in there that kind of just takes away.
Which is
like,
weird.
Would you? Yeah. Was it Aaron that was like, it looks like a wetsuit. It's a neoprene wetsuit. And I was like, oh, sheesh.
I think I might have said that initially, but yeah,
Okay.
one of us said that. But yeah,
it was in the chat. I just saw it briefly, and I was like, that's exactly what it looks like. JD Petty said some of the new 52 designs went way overboard on the lines. Then Injustice made them look worse. Flash and Shazam looked bad.
Woof.
Agreed.
Yeah. That was Jim Lee's job. Add unnecessary lines to costumes and make it more difficult.
Yeah. And Erica Sullivan coming in with, I missed the Suicide Squad. Should I rent it? I liked the film. I thought it was fun.
Yeah.
But I know it's not for everyone.
It's definitely.
Go ahead.
Oh, just John Cena and Idris Elba, they have great chemistry. They're hysterical in the film.
Yeah, they are. And I think it's definitely better than the original Suicide Squad. So
yeah. Oh, and Slice Alone, he's great. Yeah, everyone is great in that damn film.
Yeah. We've got Abomination AJ in the house. What up, people? What's up, AJ? Max has given the suit a 3 out of 10. I don't know if I'd go that harsh, just because.
Well, I think for Max, 1 is the best. I think because number 1.
Oh, that's true.
Number 1 is the best.
Yeah, true. That's true. So Max loves the suit. Max,
yes, he does.
It's okay. It's not that great, but we'll give it a pass. Poor Max. He's got such terrible tastes. It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, we all do.
And then see, here's the key, and this is kind of what we were talking about earlier. So Zach, but I just wonder what the context for this suit / shot is. This is clearly in between takes. They're kind of fixing up the suit. Again, I think James Gunn is planning on putting a good amount of post-production work into this suit, and that's why I put the two together. You can see the texture on the kind of I guess more the marketing suit.
How funny would it be if it's like no, that's how it's going to be. That's it.
Well, and this is actually a decent picture of David standing here, but there's somewhere he's bent over and you can see the suit just kind of like folding and crimping. And
yeah,
that's what really makes it look bad. This image is actually a decent image of him in the suit, but if he's moving in any way, you see the lines. I think the closest thing, if you look at behind the scenes footage from the Flash film, which I'm not saying the Flash film was good in any way, but even Michael Keaton's Batman, his behind the scenes footage of him in the suit versus what we see on screen, night and day, and he looked fantastic in the film itself.
That costume looks, I mean, well, then again, you have to understand what that. Well, never mind. Well, that's good. That's a whole other story. We're not going to get into
that. Let's see what else. Oh, look who it is. It's Kyle, not Kevin with Comics Elite. Hi, Kyle, not Kevin with Comics Elite. How are you, sir? It's so awesome that we have a celebrity like yourself here. Unlike that loser brother of whoa, Drew. Sorry, I forgot you're on the stream with me. Hey.
I think our other brother to talk about.
Oh yeah. That's fair. That's fair. Sure. I'll leave it at that because I know the story, but we won't go into it. Kyle put as long as he simps for Lois and gets told how evil he is for being a white male and he can wear whatever he wants. Drew, does that track with you? Does that sound like it's a fair trade-off?
Well, we already got that in the Batman with Matt Reeves when Catwoman talking about Batman and the other white people and their white privilege. So I wouldn't be surprised if we got a line like that in this.
Hopefully from James Gunn we won't. I mean, hopefully. I did laugh at this. Fear Monarch goes, you telling me Stagehand Carl ain't in this movie? Look, not everyone can pull was it Mandalorian that they had the production people in the background? We can't all pull Mandalorian. Max is coming in to clarify 3 points, bright colors, trunks, and great cape, therefore 3 out of 10. Then he said, everything else sucks, all caps. Well, sad, so sad. But Drew, this wasn't the only character we got a glimpse of from these set photos. We also got a glimpse of Mr. Terrific. I really have thoughts on this one. Okay, one, the costume itself is hard to mess up because it's literally leather jacket, leather pants. You really can't go wrong. You have the black face paint. I get it. The hair seems like an interesting choice because it seems like a dated choice. It seems like we're, harkening back to another era, 70s ish. And then you have the chops as well. It's just strange.
Yeah, and how old is this Mr. Terrific supposed to be? Because, if we go off according to if it's by the comics, this guy is supposed to have been. This guy's a widower. He had a wife and a daughter. This guy looks like he's barely 24, 23.
Oh no, this actor is like in his 40s.
Seriously? Oh,
yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Well, yeah, like I said, that's a choice.
Yeah, this is the same guy that played Darwin in First Class and was crap. I can't think of the character's name from Twilight, but yeah, this is him. Same actor.
Oh, good for him. He's the psycho pirate. He's crossing over. Good for him. Deep pull right there.
Yeah,
but it's okay. It's not. I mean, that's what he looks like. I mean, there's something about it. It doesn't look good in sunlight. I think it would look better at night.
Yeah, possibly. Or I don't know. I think I don't know. I just, for me, it's the hair.
He doesn't look that intimidating. He looks too thin.
He doesn't. And the actor himself is thin, and he put on weight. He actually put on muscle mass, so he's bigger than he was. As
soon as you said that, I started thinking of Alicia Vikander. Is that her name? When she was in Tomb Raider, and she said, "Yeah, I put on 15 pounds of muscle," and I'm like, "Bullshit!" I'm like, "What the hell is that at?"
Where?
It's like your tool belt. Yeah, so you barely lift an iPod. What the hell? And this guy, I mean, he's fit, but if you look at Mr. Terrific in the comics, he's a bigger guy. And
yes,
but it's okay. We're nitpicking. We're comic book geeks. I'm sorry, but he looks okay. It looks better than Superman. I'll say
that. Sure. Yeah. I mean, the interesting thing is this is more of kind of like a CW comparison again, but CW did a version of Mr. Terrific, and I think I'd honestly pick that version over this one, maybe because he was a little bit bigger of a guy, just in terms of look. I don't know.
Yeah.
So
are we gonna see his like his Terrific balls, like the 3-4 silver balls floating around him? Is he talking?
I mean, I would hope so. I want to see those. At least in action, I want to see them. Like the CW did it. So if the CW can do it, and make it look okay, then hopefully James Gunn can do it with the film. So
they can make Wild Dog work. They can make this work.
That's fair. There's a lot of stuff in the Arrowverse that did not work, but there was some stuff that did. Yeah. We do have a few more comments here. Some of them are still kind of going on about Superman, but Erica Sullivan put, "I hate the high neck and the stylized S, yet it's got the elemental things down, red boots, yellow belt, and icon on cape and red trunks." We didn't really talk about the trunks. What are your thoughts on the trunks?
Oh, I dig it. They work.
Same. I don't mind it. I don't mind it at all. So
I'm glad to see him back.
Yeah. Even the boots, which they're kind of hard to see in this picture, but I feel like even Soup's boots look pretty decent here. Yeah. I don't know. I think I really want to get to the film and see how he looks in the film, and then I'll feel better about whatever opinions I have. But until then, just Sophia Monarch talking about Mr. Terrific. Yeah, the jacket's good at least. Yeah, the jacket's cool. I like the little moto stuff that's right here on the jacket. It gives it some personality. And everything else is pretty much kind of ripped straight from the comics. You got the red lines, the white centerpieces. It's, again, that's not a hard costume to do because it's literally just street clothes with that design. We've got Nadia in the house. What the fuck did I walk into? Mayhem. You walked into mayhem. She also put, the Superman suit looks like a toddler trying to put on his dad's costume. It's too big on him. again, Nadia, we were kind of talking about this earlier. Part of it, I'm wondering if they purposely have the suit a little bit bigger, just for movement, like the material and stuff, so he can move and do things, and then they'll just tighten everything up in post.
Yeah,
Chris put, I don't.
Yeah, I really hope so. I really, really hope so.
I mean,
I really hope
I'm gonna.
Yeah.
Look. I'm willing to say it's a given. They're gonna tighten that suit up in post. I would even put. I'd bet money on it. I can't see him leaving it like that. Chris, but I don't mind the Mr. Terrific, but the Superman looks just like the skin. Oh, it looks just like the skin you can get for Fortnite. I don't play video games and I don't play Fortnite, so I couldn't really tell you.
Same. I'll take your word for it, Chris.
Sure. We believe
Absolutely.
you, Chris.
Yeah.
We sure do. And then here we go. JD Petty, as long as Mr. Terrific is not written how Tom King wrote him.
Oh.
Drew, I thought you loved that interpretation of Mr. Terrific, right? Isn't that your favorite? It's the bestest ever.
No. So I have been a fan of this new iteration of Mr. Terrific, going as far back as Jeff Johns running the JSA back in 2003, 2004 when he started writing it. We took over from David Goyer and James Robinson, and they introduced Mr. Terrific, I believe, during the there's a Darkness saga when Obsidian and a few others started bringing darkness across the earth, and he came into play, and he's just a great character. And not like a lazily written character where it's all about his race. It's like you didn't care he was black. Who gave a shit? Mm-hmm. He was awesome. He was smart. He could handle himself. He wasn't afraid to show weakness. But yeah, I mean, he's a great character. And then about 20 some odd years later, Tom King. So the one thing to know about Mr. Terrific is that he was a widower and he had a child, and I believe both had died. And according to, and he had been very sympathetic and sad, about the losses in his life. Yep. But according to Tom King and his divine wisdom, 20 some odd years later, he decided to put it upon himself to have Mr. Terrific say, "You know what? I'm actually glad that they're dead."
Yeah.
I'm glad that they died, which is actual dialogue in the book.
It is. Strange Adventures by Tom King, Mitch Gerards, Mitch Gerards, and who was the other artist on there? Was it Lee Weeks, I believe?
Doc Shaner.
Oh, that's right. It was Doc Shaner. Yeah. I remember when that issue came out, there was a whole just like group of people that were pissed. I remember Wes lost it in the video. It's just a shitty thing to say, especially as someone who has kids, and Tom King has kids. He has kids, right? Yeah. Okay.
Yes. Yeah. As far as I know,
no, he does. He does. I don't know. Just
you know what? I think they're his wife's boyfriend's kids. They're not his. They're his wife's boyfriends.
Oh no. Not saying a word. Look, I understand this is a person writing a character, but it's become very clear that Tom King is using his writing for therapy, because he keeps hitting on the same themes, and even some of the stuff that he discusses in public. It's just a bad take, and it's been a string of bad takes.
Deconstruction. Yeah,
it's character assassination. I mean, it's beyond deconstruction. It's assassination. Like, he is just killing the characters he writes, and the fact that we're not going into this yet, but the fact that he is involved with this film crew and this television crew for writing makes me incredibly nervous. What I'm hoping is that, Tom King isn't going to get to Tom King it here. He's back in a place where there's big money. A lot of people are involved. I don't think they're going to let him run rampant. That, knock on wood, fingers crossed. But when Tom King had an editor at DC that was kind of keeping him in check, he wrote some really good stuff. Same with Marvel. And then it wasn't until he got a little too big for his britches and got group editors fired that everything really just started going downhill, because no one could tell him what to do.
Yeah, because he threw a fucking hissy fit because he couldn't. Someone told him, "No, you can't, David Finch," and he went over someone's helmet and said, "No, I want this agitator fired." Because I want David Finch, and he got his wish. He threw his temper tantrum.
Yeah, and that was the end of Mark Doyle for the most part. He got shunned off to Vertigo at that point. And Mark Doyle had done a lot of really good stuff with Batman. And it's sad because I think Mark Doyle could have been, if Mark Doyle were still at DC, I think you'd see better things coming out of it. But Chris, I'm not going to highlight your comment because we're going to talk about that later. But we do have a few extra. Did you see it? Did you see it, Drew?
I saw it. I'm hoping that's a lie. I am hoping that's a
lie. Flaccid Phoenix is in the house. What's up, brother? Nice to see you here. He put, I love Mr. T, blackface. I mean, that's kind of what it looks like.
That's pretty much his costume, except he has complete white eyes in the costumes, which I can see that being a little difficult here. But or maybe they'll CGI it later. Who knows?
Maybe.
Because it's supposed to be like a electronic tee on his face that disguises him from all like surveillance equipment, so you can't see who he is.
Yeah. I mean, I hope they bring in that element. That's something they could also do in post. It looks like they might be relying on a lot of stuff for post, which, according to recent films, also does not bode well. Flaccid also put, when will Tom King write about a character starting his car in his garage and sitting out there thinking about his life for hours?
I think he's already done that.
Yeah, and you're on point with Tom King. As long as the garage door is shut, every other door is shut, and he's just letting the car continue to run, then it really would be a Tom King book. MVP coming in with his favorite creator, Tom Crean. Tom Crean's our favorite.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Zach's. This is Flats is coming in with a serious question, but do you guys like anything Tom King has ever written? Yes.
Omega Men. I'll say Omega Men.
I mean, I'll say multiple things. I liked Omega Men. I loved Grayson. It's right here behind me, over here. So I got the omnibus of it.
Okay. So Josh, the big question about that, I'm sure you have more insight into it than I do, because that was co-written between him and Tim Seeley. So how much of that was split between Tim and Tom?
It's one of those things, because I actually got to interview them, and it really feels like they genuinely worked together and balanced each other out. So it sounded like they compromised on a lot of plot things. It sounded like they compromised on how some of the issues would unfold. Because you still have those kind of Tom King, we're going to do this weird aside type, thematic issue, but then you have Tim Seeley coming in and kind of just putting a little bit of a boost of plot in there to be like, well, we still need to do this. But I think Tim Seeley let Tom King kind of have the plot drive that the book needed to have. And Tom King, I think, is actually a good enough writer to a degree that he elevated what Tim Seeley was doing. So they balance each other out. Where you have Tom King that goes too hard into deconstruction and character assassination, and let me use the same tropes over and over and over. Tim Seeley is more of a traditional writer that sometimes could use a little more depth and a little more pizzazz to his work. So that, for me, I thought they kind of worked hand in hand. I'm grabbing another book. Is that the only book that you like from him?
Honestly, in hindsight, yeah, I think that's really the only book of his I can stand is the Omega Men.
You don't like Vision?
No, after trying to reread it, I'm like, I can't stand this. I could not stand it.
I think Vision's fine. I think aspects of Mr. Miracle are really, really good, and then there's aspects that I really didn't like. And then
it gets to a point. It's good to a point.
Yeah, I think this is probably the best thing he's done. So
I never read it. I don't know how good that is.
Look, it's not for everyone. And then I think for anyone that has been in Afghanistan, anyone involved with any of our wars in the Middle East, they might have varying opinions on it. But I thought it was a solid book, solid storytelling, and he kind of pulled from what his experience was, where he was, out there kind of training their soldiers to help us. But you know, it's short enough that he kind of had to get to the story because it's only 12 issues total. So Nadia wants to know, who is Tom King and should I be happy not to know him? He's a comic book writer that has made his way to film and TV, and he started off with yes, his mom was like a big wig for, was it Blu-ray, DVD, something like that, and then network, and then
now with I think with Warner Brothers now, his mom is. She's
that's right, yeah. And look, he started off with a ton of promise, and they took him from like low-level books and put him on Batman within like 3 years, which is unheard of. Well, it used to be unheard of, but his writing has.
That used to be, you had to earn the right to be on Batman. You had to put in like 10, 15 years before you could handle Batman. And nope, 2-3 years, boom, you got it. Now it's like you can be a transsexual Satan worshiper and you're given a Batman miniseries. It's like, oh, okay, it's that easy.
Yeah. But to answer your, like, some of the chat kind of jumps in on this for you. Nadia, comic books equivalent to Ryan Johnson. All you need to know is Tom King sucks. Yeah, good stuff.
He's just he's one of those guys. Look, I mean, initially when he came on the scene, when the Vision was out, like I could stand the guy, I could handle the guy. But the more popular he became, and the more vocal he became, and the more you're talking, the bigger piece of shit he revealed himself to be. And especially with what happened to Jay Lee, what he did to Jay over a cover. You want to talk about the biggest piece of shit on the planet? He was one of them, and he felt the wrath for that one, for what he did, which I'm glad he did, because that was not cool.
Max put, alone, both Seeley and King are garbage, but together kind of good. I would say together they knocked it out of the park. I know most of us at Batman News, we were putting this as like one of our top books at the time, and we tend to be a little more critical of Dick Grayson. So, you know, it is what it is. It's one of the things where he's clearly not Nightwing, but that's not Tom King or Tim Seeley's fault.
So it's it's like these two together, they're like the exact opposite of Colin Kelly and Jackson Lansing.
Oh God, yes.
Two dipshits, and they're still dumbasses at the same time.
Speaking of, the reason Grayson ended, because it was actually doing well in sales, the reason Grayson ended was because they were ending the New 52, or actually DCU, and going into Rebirth. So guess who came in to finish out the Grayson run?
No. Yeah.
They did like the last like 3 or 4 issues, and it made me so freaking mad, because it was so, like, you could tell like what King and Seeley had set up, and then you just had these jabronis come in there and write the issue, and I was just like, why? Like, just why? And then the other thing I hated too was, you know, because DC's been trying to integrate all these Jim Lee stuff and the Authority and Wildstorm and all that.
DOA. That's all DOA. That is all DOA. It has not worked.
And then the one time it was actually working was they started actually incorporating Midnighter into the Bat family, and it worked. It was kind of like slow. It started with Grayson, and then he started popping up in other things, and like Batman Eternal, and it's like, all right, this kicks ass. And they're like, yeah, we're scrapping everything and doing Rebirth, and Rebirth was good. So, do you agree with your brother here? King is just misunderstood.
No.
Yeah.
You could get away with that 10 years ago, but not now.
Oh, agreed. No, I don't think Kyle's being serious with the King is misunderstood. And Max is coming in with comic book writer. That's fair. I won't negate that. And Tom King equals dollar store brand Alan Moore. Yes, sure. He definitely tries to be Alan Moore, and it just doesn't work. We're gonna look at a few more pictures that came out, Drew. So, I forgot that I put that in there. So, ladies and gentlemen, on the far left, you're gonna see Clark Kent with the like curly Jufro thing going on. I don't know.
It looks like an intentional shitty wig. I told you guys. To me, he looks like Steven Crowder with glasses and a bad wig on top of his head, right there.
Yeah.
It just look. I understand. Look, I understand. Clark Kent. The facade of Clark is that you're supposed to look like a doofus, and with that hair, he does look like a hipster doofus. But still, it looks too stupid.
It does look too stupid. It looks like an SNL parody of what,
yes, it does.
You know,
yeah.
what they would do. And I don't know. Like I'm all for I don't know. I don't like using the word doofus. I see Clark as like a klutz and uncoordinated and miscombobulated and maybe old fashioned. Like, okay, you clearly never, got laid and your parents trust you even through high school type of thing. But I don't know. I can't go with this. But if you look to the right side of the screen, we do have images of Lois, Perry, and Jimmy Olsen. And all of these I'm fine with. I do think that I think the character that we're going to walk away from this film being like they nailed it is going to be Lois Lane, personally.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah, I think.
Although
Rachel was
I will say, I'm sorry. I will say, Cat Grant, the lady that got playing Cat Grant. Hello, she looks.
She
good.
looks really young though. I was like, who the fuck is this supposed to be? Like some kind of like intern, like the social media intern for the Daily Planet, and then like Cat Grant. I was like, oh geez. She goes to the. Go ahead.
One of the best moments in comics. It was during Jeff Johns and Gary Frank's run in Action Comics. I believe it's when Supergirl shows up in the Daily Planet and she confronts Cat Grant, and Supergirl is like looking at her, talking to her. She points at her. She's looking at her down at her chest. She's like, Supergirl's like, what is this plastic in your chest? I don't understand this.
Womp womp. Yeah. My thought was, she works at Daily Planet during the day and then does her OnlyFans at night. So. But I'm like, people are probably gonna love it. So, what do I know?
Yeah.
And any thoughts on Perry being race bent? Like, I genuinely don't care for like I'm saying I don't care for it. I don't care either way.
No, it's the second time. I don't care. I mean,
yeah.
Look, as long as a commanding presence and he's not a pussy, that's what matters at this point.
Agreed.
And Lawrence Fishburne did a good job. I wouldn't say he did great. He did good. I hope this guy. I know this guy from other work. I know this guy from The Wire and other work. He's a good actor, solid actor. I just hope he can bring some of that intensity and heat that I expect from a Perry White.
I think he's got like a cigar in that picture. I think that's a cigar in his mouth. Yeah, perfect. Agreed. It's agreed. I didn't expect to see it, just because of the way things have moved, and so yeah. Was happy to see it. And then Jimmy Olsen, he looks like the middle America kid that moved. Yeah. So we'll see. Do you think they'll ever? It's James Gunn, and he has Jimmy Olsen. Do you think we're gonna get at least a moment of that zany Jimmy Olsen stuff that you sometimes get in the comics?
I would love to see, like, and this is where like something happens, like his body's like stretching out, his body starts morphing, he becomes like. His body becomes warped or whatever. He goes to it's like the weird Jimmy Olsen adventures. Just okay. I would love to see something like that.
I would love to see him with some apes at some point, but because they have all those running jokes with him and like the ape planets and all that crap. So let's look at some of the comments. We got Cajun Corey coming in with that hair, indeed, and we've got Fiend Machine. What's up, brother? He put Holy Party City Wig Superman. That is on point. Holy Party City Wig Superman. Gosh, it's so bad. Oh, it's obnoxiously bad.
It seriously looks like he was rushing to the set and he's like, oh my God, I forgot my wig. And someone, the costume guy's like, oh, here, take this, put it on. Go, just go.
Yeah. Oof. And Cajun Corey wants to know, is Jimmy Olsen going to survive more than 5 minutes like in BVS? I would say you can bet money on it. I think he lasted like a minute in BVS. But yeah. So those are pretty much all of the Superman kind of costumes. But since we're on the topic of Superman, let's go ahead and discuss this new show that's coming out. So it's called Lanterns. It's going to follow Jon Stewart and Hal Jordan. So Hal Jordan is going to, it's going to be 8 episodes. Hal Jordan is going to be the seasoned Green Lantern. Jon is going to be new to the Lanterns. And showrunner is going to be Chris Mundy, who's from Ozark. And then the other lead writers are going to be Damon Lindelof and Tom King.
Oh, God. Oh, God damn it. God damn it. So by you saying those names, especially Damon's, I already know it's going to be heavy-handed in the race politics. And it's going to be Hal Jordan being the evil white man for not helping the black man his whole life.
Do you think he's going to be the evil white man, or do you think he's going to kind of be like the White Knight?
I think, I think he'll be he'll be played as the ignorant white man, and then he'll see the plight of the black man, is how bad he's had it and still has it, how he's still repressed over all these years, and he'll be doing everything he can to make white people feel his wrath as well. That I feel this could be very, very heavy-handed in the race politics, because if you're familiar with that shitty Watchmen show on HBO, I don't care what you say, that show was shitty. That show was dog shit. And if you want to see how heavy-handed he can be, watch that. And I guarantee you, we're going to get his second act with this.
Probably. Damon Lindelof for me is really interesting because in some ways I think he's a good writer, and then in some ways I'm just like, oh God.
I would say no. I would say no. Honestly, I would say after. I mean, Lost really showed that he does not have much to him. He's good at setting up mystery boxes like J.J. Abrams, but doesn't know how to do them correctly. Alien Prometheus was dog shit. That script he wrote was dog shit.
Oh yeah, I didn't even see that. So Lost, I won't completely knock him for, because I blame ABC for a lot of that. Because ABC, like, they came to the table and said, "Hey, we have 5 seasons of a show that we want to do." And I think while they're in season 2, ABC's like, "Yeah, not happening. Like, we're going for 9, 10, 11." So then they start trying to figure out, like, how the F are we going to pad this for 9, 10, 11 seasons? And then they do. And then in season 4, they're like, "Oh yeah, we're ending after, I think, with season 6." So then he's trying to like just cram everything back in the box now. See, he's openly talked about how like they just got screwed, and how much he appreciates television now because you can come in and tell your story and then just let your story be what it is. So I won't completely blame him with that. And I think there's genuinely some good stuff in Lost. Like, it's not a perfect show, but there were moments where I thought it was an excellent show. And then I'll also say, for me, The Leftovers, I think, is probably one of the best shows of all time, and that was him. But then, yeah, you get to this other stuff like Watchmen, and I think there are times that he can't help himself with how heavy-handed he is, and then when you throw Tom King into that mix, like,
I'm expecting a lot of preaching, a lot of browbeating, a lot of making Hal Jordan look like an absolute piece of shit, and especially if Tom King's involved. And I guarantee we know by the end of the show, Hal Jordan's going to hand over the mantle to Jon Stewart. Hal Jordan will probably end up being dead or in jail or in jail in hell or something. Parallax, yeah. And for being an evil white man, and then yeah. So. Well, I'm sorry. That's a double negative. I'm sorry, double negative. Sorry.
Every time you say that, I think of that video that we watched in Dallas. That girl with the cop. You're just being a white man. Yeah. I mean, so I think Chris Mundy is a positive. I think Ozark is a really good show.
It was.
Yeah, was. I think, you could potentially get some good with Damon Lindelof. You might get some good with Tom King, but I think they're just gonna latch on to the worst of each other and just like be like little succubi, just like, oh, mommy issue or daddy issues, and like you're obsessed with your mommy. White Knight, you know.
Oh, yeah, just White Knight. Just make it. Oh, I get. I'll put down money right now. Like, first episode from the get go, we're going to see a shit ton of racial politics in this damn show.
Oh, everything from Jon Stewart's perspective is probably going to be racially driven. So
it's like, did you realize it's not 1956 anymore, right? Okay, just making sure. Gotcha.
Yeah. Let's go to the comments because we've got some good stuff coming through in the comments. But oh, come on, mouse, work for me. We've got Theme Machine coming in with DOA, dead on arrival. You know what's bad though? It's only 8 I'll be curious to see if they do this like a weekly release or if they just drop it all at once. And I think, unfortunately, just the fact that it's a Green Lantern brand, it's probably going to perform well.
I think that all comes down to the CGI.
Oh, that's true, too. I mean, they might just avoid, like, how long, kind of like Netflix did with their Marvel shows. Like, how far can we go without having CGI?
Yes, because how many episodes can we have them just standing around playing Johnny Fuck before there's any action?
Oh, yeah. Chris, but let's see how they're gonna fuck up a buddy cop show. Feels bad, man. Yeah, I look. The writing is on the wall, and it's not great. We got Kyle coming in with yes, sign me up. This is right up Kyle's alley. This is exactly what he wants. Watch this end up being like a freaking excellent show, and we're just gonna have to eat crow and then be pissed
better
about
yet,
it.
Watch this be like a George Floyd parable in space, and can you see that? I can honestly see them doing that just with this. The reason why I'm not saying this just because, but no, this is documented shit from Damon Lindelof, what he has done in the past on HBO with DC properties, and this is heavy-handed shit that how Tom King will do with his books too. So you get these two knuckleheads together, it's only going to exacerbate it.
Yeah. Yeah, agreed. The two together that's really where the problem is gonna pop up. Fear Monarch Pert, hey, with King in the studio, maybe they'll put in that terrific everyone loved from King. Yeah, you know, maybe he'll pop up and talk about how he's glad his wife and kid are dead. And then we've got Max coming in with "Oh, for fuck's sake," and then following that up with "This sounds effing awful." Yeah, buddy, this show is just for you. We're gonna have watch parties. We're gonna do it together. Fear Monarch setting up misery boxes. Indeed, we gotta check some kind of box, buddy. Yeah. Fee Machine, what have you done for the black skin scene incoming? I wouldn't be shocked.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely. Guarantee if Jon Stewart's involved with Hal Jordan and Damon Lindelof, yep, it's coming. I guarantee it.
That Watchmen show was poop. And Corey put Hal getting lectured for his white privilege.
Absolutely. Possibly. Or his human privilege in this case. We'll see what happens.
Fear Monarch put them space rocks got me fucked up, man. Oh god, that reminds me of an episode of S.H.I.E.L.D. But yeah. Not excited for this at all.
No.
At all.
I'm pissed. I am pissed.
No, sorry, Drew. You know, sometimes we just got to bring the bad news to you. But to kind of keep on similar conversations, since we're talking about race, and I guess Aaron's not going to make it tonight, but whatever it is, what it is. Disney. Oh, man. So it looks like Disney's devoted to DEI, which we've known. We've talked about this. And you've got a lot of stuff coming out. But last week you had Michael Giordano, who is pictured here, some candid video footage of him on a date, meeting with a friend, discussing, stuff, got released. And one of the things, actually, he's got, I think, 2 different videos.
Two?
But I think I think it's footage from it looks like two different restaurants. So there's this one during the day, and there's one that looks like it's kind of closer to night, and it looks like he's sitting next to a wall. Um, so, but yeah, so he got caught on camera, and he is a senior vice president and team lead for 20th Century Television, under Walt Disney, and he is actually, I believe, a lawyer. And he's talking about how DEI is pretty much so rampant to the point that they're actively not hiring white men or white cis men, and they're making a point of saying we're not going to hire white cis men. And even though they're not using those words directly, they're using their own verbiage of that's not what we're looking for, and it happens to just be all white cis men, or we're looking for something a little different, or we need a little more diversity. But he's going through all these things, but it's becoming so rampant and so blatant that they actually have spreadsheets, and he talks about this, documenting what their diversity is. And he talks about how there's an expectation to see diversity increase year over year within the company, but also there's bonuses for executives that if they hire someone who is diverse, they get bonuses for it. If they promote someone who is diverse, they get bonuses for it. Or if they mentor someone who is diverse, they get bonuses for it. So you've got all these incentive programs and all these HR kind of approved language of we said this, but did we ever really say it, that's going on. And you've got this guy that's a lawyer saying like, this is going on, this is what's happening. And then he blatantly says like, there's going to be lawsuits. Like it may not happen today, it may not happen tomorrow, but eventually there's going to be lawsuits. And I'm over here going like, okay, I feel like we knew this was going on, but now that you have a VP from the company just outright saying this, and now it's on camera and now it's out, that is not good.
No, it's not, and it's one of those things where, look, most of us here in the comments, Josh, you and me, we knew this stuff was going on. It's well known all this stuff was going on, but it's not shock and that means, but it's shocking that he blatantly says it on. He doesn't know he's on camera, but or he does. I don't know. I think it was a hidden camera, but the fact that he says it out loud and pretty much confirming it, it's like, well, shit, he's fucked.
Oh yeah.
But the thing is, everything he says here, that is illegal. Everything about that is illegal. That is not appropriate, correct, legal hiring parameters at all. And not just that. Let's just say now, if you do work for Disney, if you're hired by Disney and you're not a white Caucasian, you got to know now. It's like, I was probably hired just for the color of my skin.
Yeah. Well, and that's, it's what was it? It's affirmative action where colleges accept people in. Yep.
Yep.
It's kind of like the same thing.
Test scores and everything. Yeah.
Yep. It's that same kind of mindset. Did I get this job because I deserved it and I was, the best for the job, or did I just get it so I could, help ensure a statistic? And if I were a black male, I kind of hate that I'm constantly thinking like, am I getting this because you value me, or am I getting this because I help, your perception? And I think that's shitty, but two, the fact that you've got some people that are going to go in there and just like, kill themselves for a job, put in endless hours, put in crazy work, make things happen, and they're just automatically not going to get picked because, the color of their skin. And look, I get that this is very similar to what happened in the 60s and before, but I think the point is like the pendulum has swung too far. Like we're no longer pushing people to be their best. We're no longer promoting people or pushing them based on their merits. We're pushing them just based on the color of skin. No matter how you look at it, it's wrong. Whether they're white, they're black, whatever. Doing that and having racially charged decisions, we've learned, is a bad thing. So just because we've flip-flopped it doesn't make it good now. It doesn't make it right. And I don't know. I think the fact that you now have this executive coming out, he's made these comments, I think it's going to end up empowering other people to come out, which, just hold on to your britches because we do have more. But yeah, I think this is just going to be the I think this is what's going to open Pandora's box. Like now that you've had someone officially on the inside come out say this, it's all just going to start flooding. And the bad thing is he talked about how he was even told by people in HR, like people that he's friends with, that will come to him and shoot straight up, going like, "Hey, it's not going to happen. You're not going to get promoted, and it's because you're a white male." And if you watch these videos, I think it's pretty clear that this guy is probably gay. So he doesn't even have the gay card to throw out and be like, "But I'm diverse." And like, yeah, no, you're still a white male. So just sit down and shut up. Yeah,
this is reverse. This is reverse racism. That's all this is reverse racism. And
I mean, yeah,
and it's honest. I mean, honestly, I would love to see someone, maybe a Elon Musk or someone who could sneak around Disney at night on the lot, start putting up signs that say like blacks only, whites not allowed here, whites bathroom only, because that's what they're doing now. That's what they are establishing a new form of segregation here at Disney. And so congratulations, we have regressed as a society.
Yeah. I will say, I think the video in total is about 20 minutes. And one huge shout out to O'Keefe Media Group. I don't know if he's planning these people here to have these conversations, or if he's just sourcing the footage from these people, if they're selling it to him or what. But this dude is like dropped 2 gangbusters in within a week. This is number 1. And I can't wait to see what else comes out. What I will say is, as expected, Giordano, he's no longer with Disney, so he's gone. So he stepped down 2 days ago.
Really?
Yep.
So that had to have been like right after this came out.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yep. So it started off that he pretty much started deleting connections on LinkedIn, and then shortly after he stepped down and is no longer with Disney. Which anyone that's worked in the corporate industry, they knew it's coming. I think the thing is how they're going to play it. So.
And again, Josh, this is right on top of getting the Gina Carano lawsuits, and what's going to come out in that discovery since the judge agreed to let it proceed. So I think this is just the tip of the iceberg right here, and I think it's only going to get worse.
Agreed. What's going to be interesting to see is kind of so we know he's no longer with Disney. What I don't know is if they technically let him go, or if he quote unquote stepped down. And if he stepped down, then I guarantee you there was a conversation that's brought up to him in terms of like, "Hey, you have 2 options. You can step down and then we'll give you the severance package and we'll part ways, or we can fire you and then we're going to go like defamation and try to just push it to where you don't get anything." And I'm sure he took the easy road and was like, stepping down.
Yeah.
So, and that's a shame, because that's why so many people haven't come forward. That's why so many people haven't done lawsuits, because there's so much information that's out there if you look for it, from people who worked for Disney that experienced these types of things and just got like shafted. So I kind of hope that at the very least this video inspires other people to come forward. And if he was let go, I hope he tries to fight it. He won't be able to fight it in terms of helping himself, because he kind of broke company policy and there's not a lot to go against there. But I hope he fights that in the way of supporting other people to come forward saying that they were wrongfully passed over or whatever it might be. But then I think within the past 24 hours, O'Keefe Media Group has had another video come out.
Oh,
and it's with this gentleman here, Dave Macker, and Davis is his, we'll say his American name. But he's the director of production and finance for Walt Disney Television. And just to kind of revisit the slide titles here. So you've got Disney devoted to DEI unless it's the C-suite. So this video is interesting because he talks about how diversity is a massive thing, that they have to hire people. He also mentions the spreadsheets. He also mentions how there's a push for it. He also mentions how there's a push for specifically LGBTQ content for kids programming, and how it's not working, but they're still they're still doing it. And then he talks about, you know, all this stuff, diversity, and then he's kind of drops the bombshell of unless it's the C-suite. And if it's the C-suite, if you're diverse, don't expect to get in. The only way you're going to get in is if you're a Jewish white male. And then he starts talking about all these people that were purposely passed over and who then decided to leave because they were told point blank, you're not.
Your kind's not welcome here.
Kind of. So, you know, it's interesting. It's the spectrum of we have to have diversity. We've got to do this. We've got, you know, all through the company. But when you get to the very top level, they're like, oh yeah, no.
I'm sorry. It's like you just remind. There's a scene in the movie Blazing Saddles toward the end when they're rebuilding like Rock Ridge, you know, a fake Rock Ridge. It's like the night before. One of the townsfolk, he says, all right, we'll take the N-words and we'll take this group too, but we don't want the Irish. And he's like, oh, prairie shit, everybody, whatever. But it reminds me of that. It's we'll take them, but we don't want the Irish.
Yeah. But yeah, this was also a very interesting conversation, and of course, like we'll have to watch what happens to Dave here in the next day or two. But he also goes on. He's asked point blank about Bob Iger and what his thoughts are on Bob Iger. He makes the comment that he thinks he's corrupt. And then the lady that's sitting with him, she goes, do you think he's corrupt? And he goes, yeah, now. So it looks like he used to maybe respect Bob Iger and then now thinks he's corrupt. And he makes the comment following it up that all he wants is power. Oh yeah. So, you know, it's interesting to see. And I'm wondering at this point, like, how much does O'Keefe Media have, like, just in the chamber waiting to let loose? Like, are we just going to get these two?
Able to get these interviews? How are they able to get these interviews? I don't understand. Okay. This is crazy.
So that's the other thing. Like, if you watch these, so this one in particular, I think was like 22 minutes. If you watch it, like this guy clearly doesn't seem to know this girl very well. Like they're just kind of talking, and it's almost like she's interviewing, but it's almost like they're just on a date and she's curious because of what he does. So she's asking questions because she's semi-knowledgeable.
Well, you know, so I don't know how many of these you've watched before with James O'Keefe, but he's done more of these in the past, but he did them with like Pornhub executives and like people who work at Pornhub who were talking about their involvement with kiddie porn and everything. And it's not good. But and I think they're set up as like blind dates or just like dates. And I think they may be meeting them like on dating sites, maybe. I don't know.
Maybe. Well, look, here's the thing. If you're in these types of positions, so like he's a director level, the previous guy was a vice president. If you're at that level, you should know better than to discuss this stuff with someone you don't know incredibly well. Like, I'm not going to go sit down with someone that I don't know and then talk shit about my company to someone I don't know.
In great detail.
Discussing things that I know if they get out or they get leaked or someone says something or someone has proof, it's like, well, there goes my career. Because that's unfortunately that's what's going to happen. Hollywood is a tight career. So the moment you like fuck over somebody over here, forget going to any other studio. They're not going to take you. You're going to get blacklisted. And you know, thanks.
The only thing that's missing in the video, it's like that scene in the movie Role Models. It's like him on the camera saying, "I can't believe me, Dave Macker, production finance director for Walt Disney, is saying this out loud. Can you believe this?"
Yeah. I will say that when she talked about when she talked about the diversity, it was actually really funny because she point blank is like, you know, I hope that they do more with LGBTQ and, you know, to kind of introduce kids to that. And she's like, that would be great. That's what you can barely see it there, but that would be great. Yeah. That's what she's referring to. And then he kind of says he agrees with it. And then also says, yeah, but it's not working. Like no one's tuning into this and they're getting upset. So, but it's just like, I don't know. These videos are wild. And if this stuff is coming out, just imagine what else is going to come out over time. You're going to start getting more specifics. You're going to have people that feel more emboldened to step up and start lawsuits or bring their stories forward or their accusations forward. And I think Disney is in a bad place. And it might take some time, but uh, this could be. A lot of people say Disney's already fallen from grace, but I think this stuff could be the point where you really see the impact coming in just across the board. To the point that
Josh, would you say it's the death blow?
It's the death blow. Death blow. Yeah, it's not good. And you know what? That's a prime opportunity for a company like Universal to come along and just pick up everything Disney's screwing over. Final topic. Have you heard about this?
No. What the hell is that flying in the air?
Well, that's Dracula up there, up top.
Okay.
But Universal has been putting a shit ton of money into their theme parks, ramping them up, really trying to make it an experience. And they had recently announced that they were opening up new parks, and even part of the Universal Florida, new sub parks within the park. But one of the things they're going to do is a Universal Monsters theme park. So kind of like how you have the whole Harry Potter world, you're going to have a whole submersive experience of this, and it looks freaking fantastic. So they got multiple pictures up. They've already have the site plans. They've already started building stuff. And what I'll say is, if you've been to Universal, specifically Florida, and you've been to their Harry Potter land, and you've seen how much detail and thought and creativity they put into making it feel like you're in that world, not just isn't this cool? Isn't this a cool experience for a theme park? They try to it's a submersive experience with an atmosphere. If they deliver that same detail and attention to this is going to be freaking bomb.
So bomb isn't being terrible.
Awesome. No, I think it's going to be great.
Great.
So
yes.
Yeah, their whole thing is they're targeting adults for this. So where Disney's trying to target kids but make it family friendly, Universal's whole thought process is, hey, the adults have the money, and yeah, your kids can come and they can enjoy it, but this is for you guys. You come here, you can drink in the park, walk around with your beers, go do these rides, go do these experiences. I just think the creative teams there are firing on all cylinders, and I don't know. I've already been wanting to go back, but now I want to go back for this. And they still have a whole portion of Harry Potter land that they haven't built yet, so I want to go back for that. But yeah, I'm down.
This looks amazing. Honestly, I'm excited for this. I've been to Universal once. I thoroughly enjoyed it much more than Disney, because I had a blast at Universal. But this looks exciting. I love monsters, as you clearly know from my comic books. I love the Universal monsters. This just seemed like a golden idea that they should have capitalized upon decades ago, instead of just Halloween Horror Nights once a year. It's why don't you have a year-round theme park dedicated? This would be amazing. And if they can land this, if they can get the adults in to spend money at this, like me, you, others, they're gonna make a ton of money. And honestly, I would laugh my ass off if when this launches, when it opens, it's official, it launches, and if it officially makes more money the first week than the Star Wars Galactic Cruiser, I'm gonna laugh my ass off.
I feel like it's gonna be more successful than Star Wars Galactic Cruiser. So yeah. But yeah, they've got rides that are going to be kind of incorporated with the monsters. They're going to have restaurants and bars. So they're actually putting a steakhouse restaurant in this park, and then your steaks all get served with a steak in them, and it's like a Dracula themed restaurant, vampire themed restaurant. So
and all served bloody, rare, bloody.
Well, and like I said, Universal's really been putting a lot of work in making their parks more subversive and more of an atmosphere. So there was talk about the steak restaurant. The servers are familiars. serving you food, but there are vampires that are there looking for their meal, meaning like, you know, they're going to try to come eat you. So, you know, it's just fun. It's kind of cheesy, but it's fun. There's going to be, if you look at this image, you got that windmill that's on fire. That's going to be a bar. And the windmill will catch fire and then, you know, come off.
Dude, I want to go. I want to party here. This looks amazing. I want to go here now.
Yeah.
Let's go.
And the other thing that Universal does is to kind of make you want to go. They tend to have specialty drinks or specialty brews that you can only get in that area. So you'll have the theme park. And then there's beers that they make specially for like Harry Potter. And there's going to be beers that they make specially for this area. So that if you want that type of beer mixture or whatever it is, you have to go there. Same with mixed drinks. So they're really trying to do a lot of stuff to kind of make it, I think, feel engaging. What I'm really curious to see is they will have a full roller coaster, like a full roller coaster ride that'll be a werewolf ride. And then they have another ride that's going to be more of those like 3D, not 3D, but the screens. But there's also animatronics and stuff in that as well. And
interesting.
Yeah, everything I've seen looks like it will be pretty good. And you know, the one thing I will say is when you go to like the Harry Potter world, it's so submersive to the point that you can walk in the shops, and the shops that were in the books, like they're kind of representative of the stuff you can buy like in real life in that shop there. You've got wands that you can go buy and interact with different areas of that park to quote unquote cast spells, but it's got like computer chips in it that if you do certain things certain ways, things will happen. So you really kind of get engulfed in there. And again, if they can do this here, I think they'll have another hit on their hand. But it's them coming in to say like, hey, Disney, you know, you're kind of dropping the ball. We're gonna pick it up. So
yeah, it's like you're busy giving things to people that they don't want, and we're gonna give things to people that they want, that they'd be interested in, because we want their money. And honestly, like like I said, I've been to Universal in the past. I did like the Marvel Adventure Island. That's pretty much why I went there in the past. It was cool, and the Simpsons ride. But I never cared for the Harry Potter land. It just wasn't my thing. Everyone's different thing. Fair. But honestly, this is the first time I am really tempted to go back to Universal once this is done, because I want to check this out. I want to go there, and plus, I want to see if they want to carry my comic on Holy Nightmare, since it's a horror theme. So yeah.
Hey, why not? Why not? It never hurts to ask. Yeah. The name of the steakhouse is Das Steakhouse, but it's STAKEHAUS. And the bar with the windmill is the Burning Blade Tavern. So
cool.
Yeah. But I don't know. I think it's a good start for them continuing, you know, what they've been doing. And they've already been giving Disney a run for their money with the theme parks, and with all this info coming out of you know, Universal potentially merging with Warner Brothers.
Yes, I remember hearing about that, but that's going to come down to the Department of Justice if they're going to allow it to happen, because a merger that big, it's like two companies. It's like, and not just that, you got to think about when you accrue that step, that merger, that's a lot of fucking debt coming together. And you know, will the Department of Justice, you know, allow that to happen? That's going to be tough. Hard sell.
Yeah, you know, I think they'll. With the Fox Disney merger happening, I think it leaves precedent that this will also end up happening. So,
but I think in hindsight, they've shown that deal should not have happened.
Oh no, agreed. But I think it's also to a point where like we've let it happen now. So if we deny other similar things, it's going to like we've made a monopoly out of this one thing, and then these other places aren't going to stand a chance. So I think that's where we might see some of it actually coming through. Yeah, so this is going back to the Disney exec people, but you see he removed his Disney connections from his LinkedIn like hours after the story broke. Yep, I did see that. That was Giordano.
I can't begin to imagine. You know, it's like you're at home, you're at work, whatever, and all of a sudden you start getting pinged on your phone. Hey, did you see this? Did you do this interview? And so you're just like, oh, fuck.
Are you kidding? Like he's not getting pinged. He's going to have someone, like other people are going to be pinging each other. He's gonna have no clue.
Yeah.
And he's gonna have that one friend, and since he was clearly a gay man, it's gonna be a chick that's gonna be like, bitch, have you seen what's on Twitter right now? And then they're gonna watch it and he's gonna be like stressing out and doing lines of cocaine in the bathroom. I mean, like, let's be honest. But yeah. And then I thought this was great. We were talking about the whole executives were getting incentives for hiring, promoting, or mentoring diverse hires. And Fear Monarch put, let's laugh out loud. To be fair, someone should be giving whoever has to deal with T. Franklin a bonus when she was working at or doing DC work.
She still is.
Yeah. Anyone working with T. Franklin by force should get a bonus.
I would that Josh, next time we're at a convention, if you know anyone who may have worked with them, I would love to talk to those editors where they're like, hey, but on the level between you and me, what was it like?
Yeah.
What's she like? Complete bitch? Let me know. Come on.
I'm sure we could find out. I'm sure we could find some mutual people that have worked with her. It looks like Fear Monarch isn't as sold on this idea. Fear Monarch put, it sounds kind of dank, not gonna lie. I mean, to each their own. Again, I've had such good experiences with what Universal's been doing recently that I'm willing to give them a benefit of the doubt. And I'm not the biggest like Universal monster fan. I like horror stuff. But I will say, like, if you've been to Universal at Halloween when they have the Halloween Horror Nights, they're going to be infusing all that type of stuff into this park just year round. And even the LA Universal, the Hollywood Universal Studios, they had that one kind of little like haunted walk area that was there year round, and people loved it just because it was a good experience. So.
And that's what we call making mucho Doloreses.
Mucho Doloreses. And yeah, Fear Monarch, give me Creature from the Black. I think they're doing something with the Creature from the Black Lagoon, but I'd have to go back.
Yeah, because you see that. Yeah, see that little swamp boat right there, because that's what it looks like right there. So I guarantee you, we're going to see the creature.
Yeah, they are doing something. I just can't remember what it was specifically. So. And I mean, look, they're known for having water rides. It might be a water ride. So,
but if you're gonna have a water ride, make it the Creature of the Black Lagoon. Why would you not?
Oh no, agreed. Like, especially if you're in the monster area. Yeah. So it's like,
if it is successful, they make a pyramid, and it's gonna be for the mummy. That will be awesome.
That actually wouldn't be a bad idea. Well, they got their mummy ride, but it's based on like the Brendan Fraser film.
Oh, nice.
But it's a roller coaster that's in the dark. But if they can take that and just if they can take that, and I mean, this is something that already, like, you can go there and do this now. But if they just move that over and incorporate it, like, hell yeah. So
easy money.
Easy money. Yeah, the werewolf roller coaster is called Curse the Werewolf. I'm trying to see.
Oh, nice.
It's meet and greets. The heck was it? I don't know. I'll have to.
This is exciting. This is very, very exciting. Man, finally some good news tonight. This is awesome. I love it.
We like good news. But I think this is exciting. I think it'll be fun, and I'll just use it as an excuse to go back to Universal. So
me too. After 20 years.
Heck yeah. So we're going to go ahead and start wrapping things up because we're hitting that point of the night. And I will just give a reminder out there. We do have memberships you can join. Again, this Saturday, we're going to be doing Only Josh. And this right here. Only Josh, episode 4, Men's Mental Health Awareness. It's been quite a while since I've done an Only Josh stream. So we're bringing it back. Again, I'm going to have Max Von Priestley, Roman, and my friend Sarah, and we're just going to be having a real and honest conversation about men's mental health. And we're going to cover everything from the expectations that are put on men from a work standpoint, how they need to provide, societal standpoints, kind of what we discussed tonight. Not the best time to be a white male. We're going to kind of lean into the military aspects, some of the challenges coming through, and maybe what we can do better, and then get some insight from Sarah on maybe some of the stuff that she sees or hears in her profession, but also her perspective as a wife, someone who's married to someone that served our country and continues to serve our country as a police officer. And I just encourage all of you to come to this and check it out. And then the following Saturday, if you're on the $2.99 membership tier, you'll get Sipping with McDizzy. And yeah, we're going to be talking about all that gay shit. So we're going to, that shit was gay. Episode dose, that shit was gay. And I'll have a bunch of, embarrassingly bad what is going on with this world clips and discussions pertaining to what happened in Pride Month. So tune in there. And then, ladies and gentlemen, it's finally happening. I promise. Max has finished season 1 of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. We've got the first episode of Cherry Pop that will be coming. So I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I was kind of surprised and kind of not. Max was texting me as he watched the last 2 episodes, and he had thoughts. But it'll be fun to talk about that because season 1 is honestly a train wreck and terrible. And kind of just get Max's overall thoughts and opinions on it. I think will be a fun time. So we'll keep you in the loop on when that's coming. And then, of course, we have all the other shows that we have planned. So we do have Marvelous Monday. We have our Captain Marvel episode that's going to drop the first Monday in July. So that's coming up. It'll be here before you know it. And then, again, Cherry Pop, Sipping with McDizzy, and then Riz Factor will be coming before too long. So I think we might be starting with the Acolyte with Riz Factor. And then, of course, Rizzy Ricky Rich might be joining up with Drizzleberry Pop-Tart and Maxi Pad. And, oh gosh, what was Aaron's name? Shit, I can't remember now. But we all might be coming back together again for Craven. So just... And on the comic spectrum of things, every month you've got Drew and I doing top 5 comics. We came at you with May's episode a little late. We won't be that late with June's episode, with our June coverage. And I'm finishing up some editing on what will be our first graphic content. So good stuff in the pipeline. Stay tuned. Drew, if people want to find you, where can they find you?
You can find me on Facebook as Dolan Waddick. You can find me on Instagram, Dolan_Waddick. I am sharing and posting nothing but my comic book work I got coming up. Pages, and they're coming up in various projects. Projects you're not going to want to miss out on. Because trust me, by the time New York Comic Con rolls around, you don't want to be late for the train.
Don't be late for the train. Yeah, you're going to see me having fits of excitement at certain things. Look, I'm excited about pretty much most of what everything Drew's coming out, but there's certain projects in particular that I'm just like waiting. I'm like, I cannot wait for this.
One of which you may have been involved with. Who knows?
I mean, yeah, that too. That actually wasn't even the book that I was referring to. There's
okay.
Just 2 things that I'm like, I think between the story and the art, I'm just like, give it to me now. Give it to me now. But yeah, no, across the board, I'm excited. So yeah. If you want to find me, you can find me at Joshua L. McDonald on Twitter. You can find the channel's handle at ByPopped. We are here every Tuesday. You can also tend to see me on Sundays with Max's Man Cave. I'll be on Zax's channel tomorrow night, so come hang out with us there as we talk about what's good. And yeah, stay tuned for more videos coming from the channel. And if there's something you want us to see or cover, don't be shy. Let us know, and we'll be happy to discuss it. All right, folks, y'all have a good night. Thanks for coming in, chat, and we will see y'all on the flip side.